when you've got a couple of national leaders like they have with Duke Mundy in the steals department, and then Travis Bader in the three-point department, you have to be very cognizant of that. So this is going to be a great challenge for us on the defensive end to stop a guy that's getting 11 three-point shots a game, and not only what Bader gets, but what they get created from their offense. And then when they bring in number 13, Baitzinger, into the game, he's excellent as well. And he's got Matt Roth numbers at 54% from three. So they're playing with confidence. They were on the road for their first 7 games and came back home, have had 2 in a row, won those games. They beat Ohio U, and Ohio U is an excellent team, and they beat them pretty soundly the other night. So they're going to come in with confidence. We have to have confidence, and we have to be extremely locked in to what we're trying to get done on the defensive end, which means our communication now, it's not up for grabs. It's not, well, I'll talk on the next play. I mean, the communication and locating Bader and knowing what they want to get inside and knowing how we're going to try to attack this team when we're with the ball on offense is very, very important. But the greatest thing that can happen for us is to have tremendous confidence continue to just expand because of the way we're going through these experiences, the way they're moving the ball, the way they're getting to the foul line, the way we're getting out on the break. And we just got to continue to build on that. And if a team tries to take something away, we've got to understand that there's enough other things that guys can do individually and collectively that we don't have to get our head down like we did last week against Syracuse. We could just keep going and go to something else. And I think that's most important for us. And then truly staying with what the attack points are in a game. And if we have to adjust from there, we adjust. But going into the game, knowing that we want to be on the attack. We want to be aggressive on both ends of the court. We want to move the ball, get easy baskets, not settle for jumpers. We want to not give up open shots on the defensive end and take everything from there.
With such a young team, does it seem like it's clicking a lot faster for them? Because a lot of teams are throwing zones at you, but you seem to also be improving and attacking.
Well, I think again, it's when we do what we're supposed to do. Last week, when we were at Syracuse, we did an excellent job of when we attacked with the game plan, we did a good job. We had their front line in foul trouble. We were getting the ball into the basket. I mean, when you're not, we're now the stealth three-point shooting team. Yeah, but you still got to have ball movement, body movement, make the next pass. But you also got to go to your strengths. And for us right now, it's being around the rim. It's getting into the foul line. But at the same time, being able to drive it and space it and do those kind of things. And so when you understand that that's what you want, that's really important. But then every defense is giving you some place where you really want to attack it. And it obviously ends up with being able to get second shots and being able to get open looks, being able to get layups or dunks if you can, but you've got to have certain attack points, and every defense gives you that. And but then being able to carry that out is really important. We're learning that. I wouldn't say we're anywhere where we get that as a team. But we're learning that, and I think because we're seeing so many different defenses, and it's not going to go against a much better defense than what you go against with Syracuse. So we learn some hard lessons there. We learn when we're doing the right stuff, good things happen. We learn when we get away from it, bad things happen. And the more that we can learn from that and move forward in these other games, the better we'll be.
Tom, the 17 assists, 11 turnovers you had, the ability to sustain that when you want to play as fast as you do. How hard is that for any team, let alone one that's as young as you?
That's part of it. You've got to have you've got to be able to bite your tongue once in a while as a coach. We want to push the pace. There's no doubt about that. But we want to take open shots. I think when you have a team and the way the rules are, you're making a big mistake if you're just out there settling for jump shots. And it doesn't matter how good your team is. I mean, you want to be able to get your defense set. Well, if you get to the glass and get layups, you get everybody back. If you get to the foul line, you get everybody back. I mean, you get to do those types of things. And I think what we did is it was great. Jeremy Hollowell opened the game with 2 assists. The third possession, fourth possession, he got to the rim on a drive, goes to the foul line. Those are the kind of things. We don't have everybody understanding that part of it yet. And some of it's understand it, some of it's confidence with shooting, but everybody can impact the game with ball and body movement. Everybody can impact the game with rebounding. And when you have that, then you've got a chance to really make strides and you can build from there. So But at the same time, we get a lot of confidence from the running game. We get a lot of confidence. We're not turning people over a lot right now and turning those into baskets like we were a year ago. That will come, even though in the Big Ten you've always got national leaders in fewest turnovers. But the more aggressive we get, the better we'll be. It's like talking. You can't not talk on the defensive end and think you're going to be a talking team and player on the offensive end. Well, you can't not be aggressive on the defensive end and try to get turnovers and steals and then not come in and be on the attack offensively. You're going to make some mistakes here and there, part of it. But I think it's when we are sloppy and careless, or we try to be home run hitters. That's when you can't bite your tongue. That's when you've got to be strong with it. But we're learning more about that.
What impresses you just so much about Bader? What makes him good as a shooter?
Never stops moving. He's like, you would definitely, I think he's the top returning three-point shooter in the country, let alone the leading one right now. He has got some traits of some of the Michigan guys in the past. He does a great job using his body to get open. He pushes off to get open. He shot fakes. He definitely knows how to set you up. He can change speeds. He can shoot it off either foot, which is a real strong trait for a great shooter like that. He doesn't have to be squared up to make a shot. And he's only a threat every time he has it. He's one of those guys, if you relax for a second, it's going up. And the thing that he's added to his game is he moves without the ball so much better. He cuts back door. They have about 6 sets where he starts the action with at the point. But invariably it's going to end up back in his hands. And so I think the fearlessness, I think the fact that he's older, I think the fact that he's seen just a myriad of defenses and been covered a lot in multiple ways means that he's pretty fearless. And he's getting 11 attempts a game and shooting in the mid-40s. He is a high level shooter. But he's not alone. They do a great job of moving the ball. Their dribble drive offense is very dangerous. Their post-ups. Every player has certain traits that they want in this game to get to, and you've got to do a great job of doing your best not to let them get to those. And his is just letting him get free looks.
How much of a challenge is their big guy? I think it's Petrus.
Yeah, he's getting better all the time. He is a high-level player. He really is. He's just one of those guys. He can score. He can seal. He does a great job with his body. He loves for you to front him, and he loves to duck in. He loves for you to just be standing there with your knees locked and just, we call it a punch, but just duck you in and demand the basketball. He screens well. He's got the pick and roll game to him. He's in very good shape. He's good. They've got some high level players. That's one of the reasons that ESPN chose this as a game for us, to have a non-league game in a sense where we didn't have a return game. They want something that's going to draw some attention. Well, this game, because Oakland, Greg's been there 30 years. He's a phenomenal coach, and he's won a lot of games, had a lot of different players, and does a great job of developing his players. And Petros is no different.
Back to Bader a little bit. You guys were able to kind of shut down Valentine with Evansville. Is there anything that you could take from that game, shutting down a really good three-point
Not
shooter?
really. A completely different player. This is a little bit of a better moving Cooney. Cooney, the number one thing we didn't want to let Cooney do is get lost in transition, and we let him get lost twice. The great three-point shooters, and this is going to be a key to the game tomorrow night. Hulse was like this. Roth was like this. Steve Novak, when we had him, was like this. You can't let the great shooters get lost in the game. You can't do your job blocking out, or one guy doesn't block out, they get an offensive rebound, and you're not within 10 feet of Travis Bader because they're going to find him. They know how to find him. And our mission with our team is to be as good defensively with our whole team in the last 5 seconds or last 10 seconds as we are in the first 5 to 10 seconds. And I think with a player like that, he moves so well without the ball. And he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to create. He's very quick. He's a high-level player. He can play in any league in the country. I don't think there's any question about that. And they've got some other guys that are like that. So to me, you just got to have incredible awareness of where he's at. You can't sleep on the other players, but you have to have incredible awareness of where he's at all times. And you can do a great job guarding their actions and their sets. You can do a great job getting back, but just that one time that you don't find him and you give him just a little bit of space. He doesn't need much time and he doesn't need much space, and he can shoot it off either foot. You know, sometimes with three-point shooters, they're more foot specific. He's not. He can get it off either foot, and he does not have to be squared up. And I haven't seen him in a long time, but I think he's a little bigger than even what he looks like on film, so he can rise up over top of you. So as we've told our guys, it's going to be one of the better shooting teams we're going to see come in here. This is certainly as good a shooter. He's probably even, I would liken him to John Diebler. And our young guys don't even really hardly know who that is, but our older guys do, the few we have. And John Diebler was a special matchup in himself. And I would say that Bader's like that.
With Devin's injury, how far along is he?
That's going to be a game time decision, maybe. I'm doubtful for tomorrow. So, or I should say I'm doubtful. Yeah, I'm doubtful for him for tomorrow. So that was just something that he re-aggravated the other night, a little bit worse. And we just got to try to do the best we can. I mean, he's in triple sessions over here for rehab, so it's not like he's not trying to get it right, but that'll become Tim's call and the doctor's call. But I'm not holding out hope that will happen tomorrow.
I guess it's just a sprain then.
You try to take it a little bit easy too, because you guys have so few games before the Big Ten that even tweaking it again sets in that.
No, I don't think you think like that. I don't think it's one of those cases. I think you go day by day based on what it is. I think the moment you start holding people back, and this just becomes a clearance issue for him and your pain tolerance. But I don't think that. I don't think you put that in people's heads personally. And I think you just keep getting them ready. You know, you dictate. He'd miss some time going into Friday or going into Saturday's game, and but he was cleared. You know, he practiced the day before the